Hi, my name is Keiana Fountain.
And I'm Jodie Lewis.
We are here to discuss topics like self love, personal development, mental health, unlearning and relearning with age, and everything in between.
It's time to reflect. This is the Mirror Mirror podcast.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to our first episode of the Mirror Mirror podcast. Before we get into what Mirror Mirror is, we'd like to take the opportunity to introduce ourselves. So, Jodie, could you go ahead and give us a little bit of a background on who you are?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Jodie Lewis. I'm a licensed mental health counselor out of Oregon and Idaho. I go by she, her pronouns, and I identify as a disabled woman. I'm a disabled white woman. And I'm also co founder of One Change Group, who is sponsoring this podcast today. And One Change Group provides mental health counseling to people in the Pacific Northwest. What about you, Keiana? Could you introduce yourself?
Yes. So my name is Keiana Fountain. I work for One Change Group. So Jodie's my boss, but she's also my mentor and my colleague, and we've become good friends now. So very excited to work with this amazing organization. I do marketing, and I'm also a case manager for One Change Group. So that's a little bit about me. And then also, I reside in California. I went to Washington State and I majored in psychology. And I use she, her pronouns. And I identify as a Black 23-year-old woman.
Awesome.
All right, cool. Okay, so let's get into what Mirror Mirror is and what that means to us. So, for me, what Mirror Mirror is, it's true, it's raw. We're hitting on topics of reflection, and I think that's where Mirror Mirror comes into play, is the idea that we bounce ideas off of each other, and we bounce energy off of each other. I like that in a way we constantly mirror each other. And although we're different, we're very similar in a lot of ways as well. So you could kind of touch more on that a little bit.
Yeah.
What does mirror mirror mean to you?
So, for me, the idea behind Mirror Mirror is that we see parts of ourselves in each other, parts that we can relate to, parts that we can learn from. And it's really about Mirror Mirror is reflecting on our own mental health and wellness while understanding that somebody else's reflection can give us insights into our
Mm-hmm.
own.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I think in the end, while we each have our different unique experiences and challenges, there's so much that we can learn by simply looking, listening, and reflecting. And really,
Mm-hmm.
that's the essence of Mirror Mirror to me.
Awesome. Well, that was a great response, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I am definitely ready to do some reflecting with you and start this journey. So, okay, let's get into our monthly icebreaker. So, as a preface, every episode we'll do like our favorite new thing of the month or a favorite new purchase, activity, food, whatever it is, just a monthly fave. So Jodie, I'll let you take the first seat. Go ahead, tell us what your favorite thing this month is.
Okay, Kiana. So I know that I should be saying my monthly fave is walking on the beach and anything mental health related, but I think my monthly fave this month is an extra dirty martini with blue cheese stuffed olives. So
and
there
that
it is. We're getting real. So what
is a
about you?
therapist that's the therapist's biggest secret.
Yes, it is.
I love that. Well, my favorite this month, I have two favorites and I wanted to share them both. So, my first favorite is all the fall drinks and fall foods at Starbucks. They recently
Mm.
released August 24th, they came out. So, I was first in line. They've got the pumpkin cold foam, which I wait for months for this drink. My drink of choice is iced chai with brown sugar syrup, oatmeal, and pumpkin cold foam. And
Oh my
so
gosh,
every
that
year
sounds
it's so
delicious.
good. It's just like fall and happiness in a cup. And it sounds so basic, but yeah, that's definitely my monthly favorite right now. And then my other one is just like good quality luggage. It sounds so random, but lately I've been traveling more and flying more, and it just puts me at ease knowing that at least my luggage looks put together, and um my wheels aren't broken, the handles are broken and things like that. So yeah, good quality luggage.
I love that. I'm all about quality luggage because I'm always having to lift the suitcases up and put them on my walker and be walking
Yeah.
through the airport. And I'm already looking like a hot mess typically. But yes, I agree with you. Good quality
Yeah.
luggage.
Yes. It just makes you feel like a girl boss when you got your matching set and everything. So I
You
love it.
are a girl boss.
Thank you. I try my best. Okay. Let's get into the topic of the podcast, which is a therapist's biggest secrets. Okay. So tell me your biggest secret, Jody. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So
Okay,
what we
so
mean
let's
by that is, what does a therapist do to maintain their own mental health? That is a question that I always ask myself, like when I think about therapists, how do they continue on in their day-to-day life when they're just enduring so much from other people?
That is such a good question, Kiana, because really we are listening to, different types of people's experiences throughout the day. Sometimes those are traumatic. There's a lot going on throughout the day. So for me, some of my biggest health and wellness secrets, I would say first getting back to the basics. And this is where I start with everybody. So it's about nutrition, sleep, and exercise. And that's really important for myself too.
Mhm,
So as it relates to, I think that that's the basics of the foundation of
mhm,
everybody's mental health and wellness is making sure that we have good nutrition, eating healthy things, eating and hydrating throughout the day, making sure that we're getting good sleep at night because that can really impact. I know that impacts my mental health, and there's a lot of evidence to support that um, not sleeping well impacts other people's mental health. And
mhm,
then exercise. The World Health Organization just released a new study that 20 minutes of walking every day is similar, it can be not similar, but can be as effective as medication management for depression. So, those are
mm,
the things that I have to do every day. I have to make sure that I'm
mhm,
getting my sleep. Everybody that knows me knows that I need a good night's sleep, or else I am a bear to be around.
mhm,
Um, I like my Peloton in the morning. I like to get up and do 20 minutes on the Peloton and then do some yoga after that. And then I'm really lucky because my spouse loves to cook and he loves to cook amazing, nutritious meals. And so I always have, um, all these great nutritious meals. So that's one of the things.
mhm.
Um,
I love what you said about the 20 minutes of walking. I had no idea that that had such a big effect on people, but it makes sense. It's like we're supposed to be outdoors and enjoying the sunshine and things like that. So, very
exactly.
interesting. Cool.
Yeah, and I think since the pandemic, we're finding more and more people indoors. We have,
Mhm,
we're working from home, a lot of remote workers. We're not getting out and about as much as we used to. Just like even you talked about going to Starbucks, right? I remember before I was working remotely, most of the time, I'd always go to Starbucks. And
mhm,
there's days now where I have to remind myself, all right, I got to get outside. I have to
mhm.
do those type of things. So yeah,
For sure. Yeah. Especially in our generation, just with everything, being able to be delivered to our house, and school can be online, work can be online, like relationships
yeah,
can be online. So it's like, what is the point of me ever leaving the house or ever making any friends or things like that? But yeah, those things are very
exactly.
important. So I
Yeah.
get it.
And
Cool,
it
cool.
and getting out and about really helps not only with our mental health, but it helps with our relationships and or socializing and things of that nature. So, yeah, I'd say the basics. Another one of the things that I think is so important that I typically encourage my clients to really take a look at, and then I constantly have to take a look at myself, is I'm responsible for my thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, nobody else's. And I
Mhm.
think that that sometimes can be really challenging. I'm a mom to 5 adult children,
Mhm.
and I have to remember that I'm not responsible for them. I can be responsible to them, by calling them, checking in on them, and all of those things. But they're responsible for their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and I'm responsible for mine.
Mhm.
So I think
Wow.
that that's really important. I think that when we kind of fall into that trap where if somebody else is feeling bad and we kind of take that and pick it up and put it on our own shoulders, then we're falling into that codependency versus
Mm.
interdependency place. And
Mm.
even as a therapist, there's stories that I hear that are pretty, that can be pretty traumatic and sad. And it's really important that I don't kind of enmesh myself into those stories. So that
Mm.
would be another one.
Okay. So after you hear something super heavy, after a session and you have to
Mhm.
go on to the next session, maybe back to back, like, is there anything you do in between sessions to kind of reset?
I do. I have Palo Santos and I typically will light it and I will um kind of blow it just to kind of make the energy feel good and smell good. And then I utilize my mindfulness app. So again, I was talking about Peloton earlier. They
Mhm.
have a mindfulness app that I love, and you can do different lengths at times, like 5 minutes all the way up to 20 minutes. But I usually, between sessions, if I have a little bit of time, I'm hydrating and then I'm doing a little mindfulness meditation just to kind of reset myself, get myself prepared for that next session. So it's
Mhm.
really good for me, but then I'm showing up and I'm being present for that person too. And
Mhm.
then I always use it at night too. Mindfulness is back to the basics, right? It helps
Mhm.
us with our sleeping too.
Mhm. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. All
So,
right.
what are some of the things that you like to focus on? What are some of your biggest secrets for mental health and wellness?
Okay, so what I like to do is pretty much kind of like you said, get back to the basics, focusing on my mind, my body, and my spirit. So I try to come up with at least one hobby in each of those categories. So, for example, um, for my mind, like something that keeps me mentally stimulated is like puzzles or reading or things like that. Listening to podcasts, I love that. So, or going on like mindfulness walks around my neighborhood, things like that. So finding hobbies that make sure I'm keeping all of those different categories intact. For
Mhm.
my body, I like to exercise, of course. I'm really into group fitness classes. So last year my thing was kickboxing, but this year I do CrossFit. So that's pretty exciting. It's just like different groups of people and different exercises. I love working out with a lot of people just because I feed off of energy from others, and that's like my biggest motivator. Also, if you
CrossFit
don't.
is intense, girl.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know me, I'm also an ex-athlete. So I think it's just like I've had that condition in my head, this is a team,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. So when I first graduated and I started working out on my own, I was like, this is just not hitting. It is not hitting the same. It wasn't as fun. So I definitely had to figure out what was best for me and like, go to the gym with other people, find a little workout buddy and things like that. So yeah, exercising for my body. I also love cooking. So just overall holistic health. And then my spirit, taking care of my spirit, just hanging out with friends. It's like so nourishing for my spirit. I feel like it's just a big reset every time I get to see my friends. I see them like at least once a week. So on the weekends, I'm like, oh, I feel like myself again. Just
That's fun. That's
yeah.
awesome. What kind of
Yeah.
things do you and your friends do? for
Oh my
fun?
gosh, everything. I feel like we're always doing something wholesome, which I love. Like, couple weeks ago we had like a charcuterie board night, and then one weekend we painted candles. I think next weekend we're making keychains. Like, it's super cute. That, and we always do like brunch. We go see movies together, that type of
That's
thing.
so fun.
But
That's
yeah, I like
awesome.
our hangout sessions that are revolving around arts and crafts, because we just get to sit there and like make our little candles and talk to each other. So I'm into that
That's
type of
fun.
stuff. Yeah.
That's great. And I love that you brought up cooking. I wish so bad I loved to cook again, because that goes back to those basics, but I don't. So,
That's right. That's right. Okay, cool.
thanks for tuning in to our first pilot episode.
Continue to join our unique friendship as we candidly dive into various aspects of mental well being, and where we will embark on a transformative journey of self reflection.
This is the Mirror Mirror podcast.
Mic drop. Woo! Let's go.
Woo, 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 woo.
We did it.